Welcome back to episode 2 of the Platinum Guide for Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, everybody. So in the last episode, I basically talked about the very easy and basic trophies of the game. In case you did not watch it, you didn't really miss much. Honestly, it was just the very basic trophies that don't even need a guide for. It's really starting from this episode where I'm going to start talking about the actual guide. Now before I talk about the next trophy specifically, I do want to run some things by all of you. Now, when you are actually playing through the game, aside from playing through the game and the whole story-related things and all, there are a couple things you want to do to actually make the whole grinding session a little bit less tedious for all these more difficult trophies. There's basically 3 things to follow. The first one is to fully explore every single map. Whenever you go to a new area, make sure to fully explore the map, as in go to every single corner and get rid of all the blackness, and make sure that the peach/white color, whatever that color is, tan I guess, I don't know, whatever the color is, make sure that it's actually all over the map, and no more of that black shadiness. There's a very good reason why. There is actually a trophy a lot later in the game that you'll get, one of the last ones actually, that requires you to fully have explored every single map in the game. It's a little bit of a grind honestly, and sometimes it can be very tedious for people, but if you take the time to actually explore every single map the first time you get to each area, it's overall going to make things a lot easier on you, so I recommend that. The second thing to note is to make sure to fight at least one of every single enemy when you first see them. Now, I don't mean this really universally because there's some exceptions. For example, the first time you're at Giza Plains and you're only Vaughn and Pinello, don't fight the werewolves. Don't, because you will get annihilated. But aside from those exceptions, whenever you see an enemy, fight it. You want to add at least one enemy of every single type to the bestiary. And the very third thing to point out is to get every single chest that you see. There's a reason why. There are a lot of magics and techniques throughout the game. There are many magics and spells that you cannot buy in this version of the game. You can only find them on chests. But if you actually take the time to get every single chest the first time you're in every area, you will have no doubt obtain at least a couple magics and techniques here and there, which makes the grind in the end a lot less tedious. But anyway, for this video, I'm going to be focusing on only one trophy called Runeweaver. Runeweaver is a rather difficult trophy to obtain, which says learned every magic. As far as magics go, it is divided into 5 different sections: white magic, black magic, time magic, green magic, and arcane magic. The trophy requires you to obtain every single magic of all of these 5 categories, so it's kind of a lot, because some have a lot. Now, even though I said that there are a number of spells you have to obtain in the field, there's actually a lot you can buy from the stores. So what you see on screen right now are the list of every single spell in the game that you can actually buy in a store. So obviously I'm not going to be talking about these. Obviously when you have enough money to get them, buy them. Whenever you want to buy them in front of weapons and armor, buy them. So like I said, all the magics listed on screen can be bought anywhere. When I say anywhere, I mean really. Once you get to the end of the game, make sure to check every single store in the game. I'm talking about Rabanastre, Bujurba, Nalbina, Arcades, Balfenheim, and so on if I missed any. All the basic stores that have magics, go to all of them, buy their magics, and you got it. Now there are 2 notable exceptions. The first one is Scourge and the second one is Esunaga. Scourge can only be bought from Barheim Passage. Barheim Passage was that one place in the very beginning of the game where you actually got locked up in there, remember that? And there's a guy that actually gave you a fuse. That guy sells Scourge, but not the first time you make it to there. You can get Scourge once you have access to the Barheim Passage yet again. Basically, once you've completed the Patient in the Desert side quest and obtained the Barheim Key. Once you go back in there and make your way all the way back up to the top, you will find the guy. Go to his magic area, a bunch of shitty spells will be there, but also Scourge. Buy Scourge. It's the only place in the game where you can buy Scourge. The second exception is Esunaga. Esunaga can only be obtained from the secret merchant in the Necrohole of Nabudis. Necrohole of Nabudis is a rather difficult area. You should only go there very late in the game once your party is significantly leveled up. Anyway, this guy, even if you knew where he was in the original Final Fantasy XII, he's actually in a much different area here in this game. He is located on the very northwest corner of the Cloister of the Highborn area in the Necrohole of Nabudis. Simply examine the pillar in that corner and he will come out. He sells some pretty decent things here and there, but one thing that is unique to him is Esunaga. Buy Esunaga from him because it's the only place in the game where you can buy it. But now let's actually talk about the actual spells you have to find outside of shops. So I'll be going in order based on what the game says, and of course the first spell I'll be talking about is actually one of the harder ones to obtain in the game, Renew. Renew is found in the Hen Mine's Special Charter Shaft area, which is actually the place right before the area where you fight Zodiac. Yeah, that Zodiac, which means it is really far into the game. You have to be significantly leveled to even take on all these enemies because there's a ton of enemies, each giving you roughly about 3,000 experience when you kill. It's basically the hardest part of the game in terms of normal enemies, so make sure to come here only very late in the game, but as you can see on screen, it is located right there. Next up is Cleanse. Cleanse can be found in the Cerobi Steppe in a place called the Terrace Bank. It's right next to that little black square on the map area right there. You can see there's a trap always blocking the chest, but it's located right there. Now, this chest is actually a little unique. It is not a guaranteed spawn, and even if it spawns, it's not a guaranteed cleanse. Most other spells in the game and even techniques, if the chest is there, it's pretty much guaranteed. It's a guaranteed spell because they're giving it to you. Cleanse is unique in that. So, it's found right there, but if it doesn't spawn, simply zone out, zone back in, zone out, zone back in until it's finally there and until it's finally cleansed. But that is how you obtain cleanse. The next spell is Dispel. Dispel can actually be found in the Tomb of Wraithwall, the Royal Passage. Most people like to get this one the first time they make their visit to the Tomb of Wraithwall because, well, it's available the first time. So when you get to the Tomb of Wraithwall the first time in the game, get it. That'll actually save you a complete backtracking session. The next spell is Dispelga. Dispelga can be obtained in the Feywood in the area called White Magic's Embrace, located right there on the map as you can see. So yes, it can be obtained the first time you make it to the Feywood during the story progression area, so make sure to go here. Basically it's the place right after you fight the boss Rafflesia. Protectga is basically an AoE protect, as you already know, and this spell can be found in the Necro Hall of Nabudis, in the place called Cloister of Distant Song. You can see right there on the map where it actually is, so again, being in the Necro Hall of Nabudis, it's a little bit harder than most areas in the game, but once you've leveled up enough, make sure to go there and grab it. Shellga is a rather annoying spell to get because it's in the Great Crystal, a place that doesn't have an actual map, and people hate that a lot. But anyway, I'm going to give you an extensive, detailed walkthrough on how to actually get it. So, from the place where you defeat the boss and get access to the Waystone in Jiruvegan, simply take it and it'll take you to the Great Crystal. So you are initially starting in waypoint number 8. So you will see a giant wall right there. And you didn't actually go there the first time during the story progression when you made it to Shemazai the Whisper. But instead this giant green wall is blocking. What do? Well, you simply take the pathway right next to it, go up, and you will get taken to the Scorpio Control. Simply activate the Scorpio Control once you defeat annoying enemies that come your way, and then backtrack one area back into Waystone 8. Once you're back in that area, you will see that the Scorpio Gate is gone. Magic. Simply go through it now by making a harsh right, run all the way up, and you will get taken to the next area. The next area contains Waystone number 9. Simply touch it to let it warp you all the way to Waystone number 10. Once you're in Waystone number 10, you will see around you that there's only one pathway to go. Once you go to the pathway, you will see another Waystone. This one is actually Waystone 20, but as of now it doesn't work, only until you actually defeat Ultima first. Either way though, we're not taking this Waystone anyway. What you're going to want to do is take the pathway directly opposite of Waystone 10 where you came from, the direct opposite path, and that'll take you to the next location. The next location is fairly simple because there's only one other pathway to go, so simply take it. Once you're in the next area, you will get taken to the Sagittarius Control. In the Sagittarius Control, simply go up to it and activate it. This is the first time in the game in which you actually have a time limit. Anyway, once you activate the control, simply run back where you came from and then run back through the next area where you came from again, and you will be back at Waystone 20. In Waystone 20, what you want to do is deactivate Sagittarius Gatestone 2. Not 1, 2. If you deactivate 1, you're going to have to trek a long way to get Shellga, and you don't want to do that. Instead, just deactivate number 2. After deactivating number 2, you will then get taken to Waystone number 12. Waystone number 12 will then warp you over to Waystone number 14. When you first get to Waystone number 14, it's actually a little bit difficult to know which way to go because, well, there's only 2 ways opposite of each other. Basically, choose a pathway. When you choose a pathway, if you get taken to a place that has a control, then you're good. If not, turn back and go the other way, the opposite way of Waystone 14. Once you get to the control, you will find out that it's actually Leo control. Simply go to the new pathway, not where you came from Waystone 14. Keep going, and deactivate Leo Gate 1. Once you get on the other side and fight some more annoying enemies, you will see that Shellga is located right there in that treasure, and that's Shellga. The next spell is Bravery. Bravery can be found in the Necro Hall of Nabudiz in the Cloister of the Highborn. As you can see on screen, it's located right there. Next one is Faith. Similar to Bravery, it's also located in the Necro Hall of Nabudiz, but not in the same room. It's located in Hall of the Ivory Covenant. Simply go there, as you can see on screen right now, on that part of the map, examine it, and there's your spell. The next spell is Regen. Regen can be found in Giza Plains in the Rains, not the dry, but only the Rains. It's basically right in the middle of that fence area where all the cockatrices are during the dry, but as you can see, it's the Rains, there's no people here. Simply examine the chest, and it's right there, Regen. Holy can be found in the Pharaoh's first ascent on the Wellspring Rabble, 3rd flight. Holy is a rather unique spell to obtain. Now the first time you make it to the Pharaohs, what you want to do is simply defeat Brain Pans to keep advancing the story, right? Because it'll release like little green floor panels. Eventually, once you kill enough Brain Pans, it'll make a bridge. Simply keep doing that. However, once you made it to the 2nd ascent, you can backtrack back to the 1st ascent because the bridge is permanently there. What you're going to want to do in the 1st ascent though, as you can see on the screen, is actually defeat Daedars, not Brain Pans. Avoid killing Brain Pans, only kill Daedars. Once you kill enough Daedars, simply go on the bridge that you see right there and simply keep going through and you'll eventually get Holy. It does take a little while to find Daedars sometimes. You kind of got to go around. Make sure to hold that flee option button sometimes because you do not want to kill those Brain Pans because then that ruins your hard work. But again, focus on Daedars, keep running back and forth, zone out a little, go forward, go back, and so on and so forth, and you'll eventually kill enough Daedars. Once you have, go to the bridge, and there we go. The next spell is Flare. Flare can be found in the Pharaoh's 3rd Ascent Spire Rabble, 1st flight. And as you can see on the screen, it is located right there. It's honestly not that hard to obtain. You will probably get it on your first time through the Pharaohs, but it's right there. The next spell is Scathe. Now Scathe can be found in the Lusu Mines, the staging area. Basically, it's by the time you're going to be going for some optional quests such as the Antlion, maybe Diablos, or probably Gilgamesh as well, because you're going to be going all over the place here, but it's located right there. The next one is Blind. Blind is one of the easiest spells in the game to obtain. It's located in Giza Plains in the Toan Hills, but only during the dry, not the rains. As you can see on screen, it is located right there in the area. The next spell is Blindga. Blindga can be found in the Sita Uplands, the Fields of Eternity area. Basically, it's the northernmost area of Sita Uplands, located right above the cliff, right there overlooking everything. The next spell is Silence. Silence can be found in 2 areas, the Dalmastica Estersand Yarding Labyrinth or the Lusu Mines Shaft entry. Honestly, Dalmastica Estersand seems a little bit easier to obtain, but you can try Lusu Mines as well. Either way though, it's on screen right there. The next one is Silencega. Silencega can be found in the Necro Hall of Nabudiz, the Hall of Effulgent Light, located right there. The next spell is Sleep. Sleep is unique in that it can be found in the Dreadnought Leviathan, the starboard section area, but usually I never obtain it there. Instead, I get it from the Ogre Yensa Sansi, Platform 1 East Thames. It is missable in the Dreadnought area, and if you miss it there, simply get it from the Ogre Yensa Sansi and Platform 1 East Thames. The next spell is Sleepga. Sleepga can only be found in Jiruvegan, the Halmika or Halmika out of the Water Steps. Basically, it's in the place right where the Safe Crystal is located at. It's pretty much not missable because all you do is make a right and it's right there. The next one is Poison. Poison can be found in the Dalmastica Estersand, the Sand-Swept Naze. Located right there on the screen, it's a very basic and easy spell to obtain. The next spell is Toxify. For Toxify, you simply go back into the Barham Passage with the Barham Key, and instead of going straight, you simply make a harsh right, go backwards a little bit, and you will see it among many other things, and it's right there. Moving on to Time Magics, the first spell is Haste. Haste is located in Iruit Village in the very north section of Fane of the Path. Countdown can only be obtained in the Still Shrine of Miriam in the Ward of Vegetation, and as you can see on the screen, it is not that hard to obtain. Flow can be found in the Stita Uplands, the Olifzak Rise, if that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, it's located right there in that area, as you can see on the map and the screen. The next spell is Vanish. Vanish can be obtained from the Tomb of Wraithwall Royal Passage. A lot of people like to get this one on their first trip through it because it's kind of a pain going through the Tomb of Wraithwall, so make sure to get it on your first trip. Reflect can be obtained in the Ogre Yensa Sand to the primary tank complex, as you can see on the screen right there. Reflectga can be found in the Feywood, the Age of Reason, so it is the last section of the Feywood right before Regen, and it's a little bit tricky sometimes to find because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere and sometimes you can't really see in front of you, but it is actually guarded by a trap. Simply get through it or avoid it. The next spell is Balance. Balance can be obtained from the Namyensa Sansi, the Demesne of the Sand Queen, as you can see on the screen. The next spell is Warp. Warp can be found in the Brave's Deadlands, Lifeless Strand. This one is actually a little bit tricky to obtain because there's a secret passageway that most people don't really know that you can walk on. But as you can see on the screen right now, if you walk right there, you will get taken to a slight secret pathway, which eventually takes you to Warp. So green magics are a little unique. Even though you can buy all green magics, that's the only way to actually get them in the game, I didn't really put them in the very first area when I said, look, you can buy all these, because they're a little unique. You actually need to have a certain rank to get the green magics, and you will only buy them from the bazaar. Basically, once you reach the Knight of the Round rank, go to the bazaar and buy all 6 at the same time, and there we go. Now, Death can be found in the Paramena Rift in the Caridine Glacier, as you can see on the screen located right there. Ardor can be found in the Pharaoh's Third Ascent, Spire Ravel's Second Flight. It's a little bit tricky sometimes, you know, with all this Pharaohs going on. It's a rather long dungeon, but you can see on the screen where it's located at. Now, there is actually one spell that I miss, and you may have noticed. The spell is Haste. For Haste, I'm going to be making a very special video for it because Haste is by far the hardest and most annoying spell to obtain in the entire game, by far. It is ridiculous what you need to do, so I'm going to dedicate a whole video to just that one spell, which will be coming up very soon. But that is it for this entire video, so if you enjoyed this video in any way, please be sure to leave a like. I would appreciate it very much. Thank you, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye everyone, have a great day.